Palace of Illusions, a novel by Chitralekha Banerjee Divakaruni. Author's note: like many Indian children, I grew up on the vast, varied, and fascinating tales of the Mahabharata. Set at the end of what the Hindu scriptures term Dwapar Yuga or the third age of man, a time when the lives of man and gods are still intersected, the epic weaves myth, history, religion, science, philosophy, superstition, and statecraft into its innumerable stories within stories to create a rich and teeming world filled with psychological complexity. It moves with grateful felicity between the very recognizable human world and magical realms where yakshas and apsaras roam, depicting these such exquisite surety that I would often wonder if indeed there was more to existence than what logic and my senses could grasp. At the core of the epic lies the fierce rivalry between two branches of the Kuru dynasty, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The lifelong struggle between the cousins for the throne of Hastinapur culminates in the bloody battle of Kurukshetra, in which most kings of that period participated and perished. But numerous other characters people the world of Mahabharata and contribute to its magnetism and continuing relevance. These larger than life heroes, epitomizing inspiring virtues and deadly vices, etched my cautionary morals into my child consciousness. Some of my favorites who play predominant role in the Palace of Illusions are Vyasa the sage, at once the composer of the epic and a participant at crucial moments in the action. Krishna, beloved and inscrutable, an incarnation of Vishnu and mentor to the Pandavas. Bhishma, the patriarch who, bound by his promise to protect the Kuru throne, must fight against his beloved grandsons. Drona, the Brahmin warrior who becomes teacher to both the Kauravas and Pandava princes. Drupad, the king of Panchal, whose desire for vengeance against Drona activates the wheel of destiny, and Karna, the great warrior, who is doomed because he does not know his parentage. But always, listening to the stories of the Mahabharata as a young girl in a lantern-lit evening at my grandfather's village home, or later poring over the 1,000-page leather-bound volume in my parents' home in Kolkata, I was left unsatisfied by the portrayals of the women. It wasn't as though the epic didn't have powerful, complex women characters that affected the action in major ways. For instance, there was the widowed Kunti, mother of the Pandavas, who dedicates her life to making sure her sons became kings. There was Gandhari, wife of the sightless Kaurava king, who chooses to blindfold herself at marriage, thus relinquishing her power as queen and mother. And most of all, there was Panchali, also known as Draupadi, King Drupad's beautiful daughter, who has the unique distinction of being married to 5 men at the same time, the 5 Pandava brothers, the greatest heroes of their time. Panchali, who some might argue by her headstrong actions helps to bring about destruction of the third age of man, but in some way they remain shadowy figures, their thoughts and motives mysterious, their emotions portrayed only when they affected the lives of the male heroes, their roles ultimately subservient to those of their fathers or husbands, brothers or sons. If I ever wrote a book, I remember thinking, though at the time I didn't really believe this would ever happen, I would place the women in the forefront of the action. I would uncover the story that lay invisible between the lines of the men's exploits. Better still, I would have one of them tell it herself, with all her joys and doubts, her struggles and her triumphs, her heartbreaks, her achievements, the unique female way in which she sees her world and her place in it. And who could be better suited for this than Panchali? It is her life, her voice, her questions and her vision that I invite you in the Palace of Illusions. The Palace